Let's just review the steps of argument analysis. Analyzing arguments involves two steps. First of all, reconstructing the argument, putting the argument in a form where it's clearly stated. We understand what all the assumptions are, we understand all the concepts, we see the connections that are supposed to be made. And once we've reconstructed the argument in that way, writing up the premises, numbering them, the conclusions, so we can decide if it's valid or sound, then we can actually do the evaluations. First of all, deciding if it's a valid argument, and if it is it a sound argument? Is it starting from good premises? Now, why should we reconstruct arguments? I mean, can't we just talk about the arguments? Common question I get in class. The main reason for doing this, for putting the argument, reconstructing the arguments, putting it into a standard form, is that it's clearer and easier to understand. Some students sometimes debate with me that it's not clearer or easier to understand, but at least it's clear what the assumptions are in the argument, and that we make them explicit exactly what those assumptions are. And you can see the connection between the guy's reasons and his conclusions. So the connections between the arguer's ideas are made explicit and clear. And this is kind of really the answer to why, because the result is that we get a deeper understanding of the argument. We really understand what all these assumptions are. And finally, it makes it easy or easier to decide if the argument is a good one or not, if we should accept the person's conclusion or if we should reject the person's conclusion. That is, if the argument isn't good, from the fact that it's not a good argument, we can't come to the conclusion that we cannot assume that the conclusion is false, but at least we know that the person has not given us reason to believe that it is true.